Good evening, and welcome to Third Church of Christ Scientists of New York City. Let's begin by singing hymn 267, 267. Our God is all in all. His children cannot fear. See baseless evil fall, and know that God is here. Hymn 267. I shall read from the Bible and correlative passages from the Christian Science textbook, Science and Health, with key to scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy, the discoverer and founder of Christian Science. The topic of this week's readings is contagion. Psalms, the Bible, Psalms. Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted within me? Hope thou in God, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my countenance and my God. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In him will I trust. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. Exodus. The Lord said unto Moses, Put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. And he said, Put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn of the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne, unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, Rise up, and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go, serve the Lord as ye have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. Mark. And there came a leper to him, beseeching him, and kneeling down to him, and saying unto him, If thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. And Jesus, moved with compassion, put forth his hand, and touched him, and saith unto him, I will, be thou clean. And as soon as he had spoken, immediately the leprosy departed from him, and he was cleansed. John. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. Mark. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. Revelation. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them. And they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination, or maketh a lie. I shall now read Carotha passages from the Christian Science textbook, Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures, by Mary Baker Eddy. Disquisitions on disease have a mental effect similar to that produced on children by telling ghost stories in the dark. By those uninstructed in Christian Science, nothing is really understood of material existence. Mortals are believed to be here without their consent, and to be removed as involuntarily, not knowing why nor when. As frightened children look everywhere for the imaginary ghosts, so sick humanity sees danger in every direction and looks for relief in all ways except the right one. darkness induces fear. The adult, in bondage to his beliefs, no more comprehends his real being than does the child, and the adult must be taken out of his darkness before he can get rid of the elusive sufferings which throng the gloaming. The way in divine science is the only way out of this condition. We weep because others weep. We yawn because they yawn. And we have smallpox because others have it. But mortal mind, not matter, contains and carries the affection. When this mental contagion is understood, we shall be more careful of our mental conditions, and we shall avoid loquacious tattling about disease, as we would avoid advocating crime. Neither sympathy nor society should ever tempt us to cherish error in any form, and certainly we should not be error's advocate. Disease arises, like other mental conditions, from association. Since it is a law of mortal mind that certain diseases should be regarded as contagious, this law obtains credit through association, calling up the fear that creates the image of disease and its consequent manifestation in the body. This fact in metaphysics is illustrated by the following incident. A man was made to believe that he occupied a bed where a cholera patient had died. Immediately, the symptoms of this disease appeared, and the man died. The fact was that he had not caught the cholera by material contact, because no cholera patient had been in that bed. The cause of all so-called disease is mental, a mortal fear, a mistaken belief, or conviction of the necessity and power of ill health. Also a fear that mind is helpless to defend the life of man and incompetent to control it. Without this ignorant human belief, any circumstance is of itself powerless to produce suffering. It is latent belief in disease, as well as the fear of disease, which associates sickness with certain circumstances and causes the two to appear conjoined, even as poetry and music are reproduced in union by human memory. Disease has no intelligence. Unwittingly, you sentence yourself to suffer. The understanding of this will enable you to commute this self-sentence and meet every circumstance with truth. Disease is less than mind, and mind can control it. When fear disappears, the foundation of disease is gone. To fear and admit the power of disease is to paralyze mental and scientific demonstration. Fear, which is an element of all disease, must be cast out to readjust the balance for God. Casting out evil and fear enables truth to outweigh error. The understanding, even in a degree, of the divine all-power destroys fear and plants the feet in the true path, the path which leads to the house built without hands, eternal in the heavens. Man is never sick, for mind is not sick, and matter cannot be. If half the attention given to hygiene were given to the study of Christian Science and to the spiritualization of thought, this alone would usher in the millennium. Constant bathing and rubbing to alter the secretions or to remove unhealthy exhalations from the cuticle receive a useful rebuke from Jesus' precept take no thought for the body. We must beware of making clean merely the outside of the platter. He who is ignorant of what is termed hygienic law is more receptive of spiritual power and of faith in one God than is the devotee of supposed hygienic law, who comes to teach the so-called ignorant one. Must we not then consider the so-called law of matter a canon more honored in the breach than the observance? Disease is not an intelligence to dispute the empire of mind, or to dethrone mind and take the government into its own hands. Sickness is not a God-given nor a self-constituted material power which copes astutely with mind and finally conquers it. God never endowed matter with power to disable life or to chill harmony with a long and cold night of discord. Such a power, without the divine permission, is inconceivable. And if such a power could be divinely directed, it would manifest less wisdom than we usually find displayed in human governments. Be firm in your understanding that the divine mind governs, and that in science man reflects God's government. By looking a tiger fearlessly in the eye, Sir Charles Napier sent it cowering back into the jungle. An animal may infuriate another by looking it in the eye, and both will fight for nothing. A man's gaze fastened fearlessly on a ferocious beast often causes the beast to retreat in terror. This latter occurrence represents the power of truth over error, the might of intelligence exercised over mortal beliefs to destroy them. Gazing at a chained lion crouched for a spring should not terrify a man. The body is affected only with the belief of disease produced by a so-called mind ignorant of the truth which chains disease. Nothing but the power of truth can prevent the fear of error and prove man's dominion over error. Diseases deemed dangerous sometimes come from the most hidden, undefined, and insidious beliefs. Unscientific methods are finding their dead level. Limited to matter by their own law, what have they of the advantages of mind and immortality? Matter is not self-sustaining. Its false supports fail one after another. Matter succeeds for a period only by falsely parading in the vestments of law. You command the situation. If you understand that mortal existence is a state of self-deception and not the truth of being. Maintain the facts of Christian Science, that spirit is God and therefore cannot be sick, that what is termed matter cannot be sick, that all causation is mind acting through spiritual law. Then hold your ground with the unshaken understanding of truth and love, and you will win. When you silence the witness against your plea, you destroy the evidence, for the disease disappears. In infinite life and love, there is no sickness, sin, nor death, and the scriptures declare that we live, move, and have our being in the infinite God. Every trial of our faith in God makes us stronger. The more difficult seems the material condition to be overcome by spirit, the stronger should be our faith and the purer our love. Meet every adverse circumstance as its master. Let us have a few moments of silent prayer to be followed by the audible repetition of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Let us sing hymn 208. The words of this hymn, our beloved leader, Mary Baker Eddy. O gentle presence, peace and joy and power. O life divine that owns each waiting hour. Thou love that guards the nestling's faltering flight, keep thou my child on upward wing tonight. Love is our refuge, only with mine eye can I behold the snare, the pit, the fall. His habitation high is here and nigh. His arm encircles me and mine and all. Oh, make me glad for every scalding tear, for hope deferred, ingratitude, disdain. Wait and love more for every hate, and fear no ill, since God is good and loss is gain. Beneath the shadow of his mighty wing, in that sweet secret of the narrow way, seeking and finding, with the angels sing, Lo, I am with you alway, watch and pray. No snare, no fowler, pestilence or pain, no night drops down upon the troubled breast. When heaven's after smile earth's teardrops gain, and mother finds her home and heavenly rest. Hymn 208. This church is a branch of the Mother Church, the First Church of Christ Scientist in Boston, Massachusetts. We hold Sunday services at 11 a.m. and Wednesday testimony meetings at 7:30 p.m. We also have services in Spanish, Sundays at 12 noon and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. All services are held in person and online. All are welcome. Third Church offers Sunday school classes in person and online for children and teens. These free one-hour classes are available each Sunday. At Sunday school, students learn how much God loves them and cares for them. They also learn about the Bible characters and lessons and the healing power of prayer, truth. For more information on times and classes, please send us an email, thirdchurch@thirdchurchnyc.com. Replays are now available on our website, thirdchurchnyc.com, in English and Spanish of our Good Friday talk titled, What is Resurrection Thinking? By Brian Webster. Our meeting is now open for all to share experiences of healing and spiritual insights that prove God's ever-presence and power in their lives. If you are listening by telephone and would like to speak, press *6 and wait until your line is unmuted. Please speak directly into the microphone of your phone. Your message will be easier to hear if you do not use the speaker function. If you are watching via Zoom, you can choose to raise your hand icon or unmute yourself and speak.
Thank you for those crystal clear readings. And two things came to me from the readings and relate to this week's Bible lesson on mortals and immortals. And one is disease by sympathy and association, and that has often been called sympathetic animal magnetism or associative animal magnetism. And those forms of animal magnetism would cause us to stay conformed to this world and make us thereby vulnerable to the belief in birth, development, decline, and death. That is what the material senses are telling us every day, all the time. But we are being asked in that epistle of St. Paul to be transformed and not conformed. And the transformation is that God is divine life, and there is no shadow of death, whether we call that belief in birth and a nice plateau of the middle years, and then a decline, and then a final goodbye. That is animal magnetism. That is not the transformation that as scientists we seek, even though it takes discipline. We have successes and we have failures, we have struggles and we have triumphs along those lines. But your readings made it clear and inspiring that that's the work ahead of us. Thank you.
I thank God for being here, and I'm thankful for Christian Science. I learned a lot from it. I'm fairly a new member of Christian Science. I have been, and I truly enjoy the services and the reading room, and I'm learning a lot. Thank you.
Thank you for the readings. In your readings, it reminds me God governs the universe. and mind governs all. And I'm grateful that, today I had some official case, and I had a court hearing today. In that, the judge has pointed out something wrong. You are giving me the information. Probably the previous attorney who was dealing with my case, who has transferred the same case to some other attorney, and this attorney has interpreted, and I was confused about, and I immediately replied, I have no idea. I did not say, but maybe I forgot, or I don't know, but I don't know about that, whatever you are expressing. There was some description, something wrong in that. And again, they have referred it, oh no, all right, we will refer back to the attorney. I'm grateful that whatever, sometimes, the human mind which deviates. I'm grateful this wonderful thought, what you have, mind governs all. And with this wonderful concept, I was silenced, I was corrected by this wrong way, and I did accept it, that yes, I really certainly accept that, whatever they. So I'm grateful that certainly divine mind governs all the universe, governs all the aspects of our life. I'm grateful for that. Thank you very much for the readings.
Recurring themes in the Bible lessons about light that floods the consciousness of the individual, companioning them whenever they feel lonely, lifting their thoughts to understanding of the oneness and unity of God, and the goodness and the love that in reality only exist. And I'm very grateful for JSH Online, all of the study materials that we have, that we can go to and study and help to change thought from those of darkness to those of the light, filling us with joy and happiness. Thank you for the readings and all that it took to be here.
Myrna couldn't be here tonight, but if she were, I know she would want to share with you what she's so often shared with us, how she first found Christian Science when she was a young mother in Germany, trying to take voice lessons with a German teacher, and her child, newly born child, was terribly saddled with a cast and a terrible diagnosis, some kind of bone disease, and a terrible prognosis, and would have to wear it for months. And she went to her music teacher lesson, and who she thought would be a male German speaking teacher, and turned to be an American woman who was with so much joy, had so much joy, she simply said, "Why are you so happy?" And the woman took Science and Health out of her drawer and threw it at her. She opened it and read a couple of lines, and that was it. That child was healed in very short time, very quick time. And also she had other healings of a growth on her face. And the practitioner in Germany, all she said to her was, "Gott ist Liebe," which is German for God is love. God is love. And so what a wonderful thought that is, that was enough to heal all the child and the growth that she had. And she went on and sang all kinds of opera in Germany, and she sang, and after that she came back to raise her family here, and she sang in all these branch churches here and inspired with a lot of wonderful Christian Science souls, a lot of church members. So it's a wonderful thing that when we hear something, and we just know it's right. We know in our heart that it's right, and it's a wonderful thing. I have to say the same thing happened to my mother when she was just a young mother also. She went back to her town in Illinois, and she was going to the beauty parlor, and a high school friend, and this is in the middle of Illinois, in the middle of cornfields, in the middle of nowhere. And she went to her beauty parlor, and her friend from high school told her about Christian Science. Evidently, they had this was during the Depression, and they had discovered oil in this little town in the middle of nowhere, and there were a lot of people, oil businessmen came down from Chicago, and they brought Christian Science with them. And when she heard it, she just loved it. I said to my, "Well, did you see it all?" And she said, yes, she saw the whole thing. It was very easy, and she just loved it. So what a wonderful truth that we have here, and that it speaks to the heart. It lifts the heart and heals. Thank you. And thank you all for your testimonies. And let's close by singing hymn 370. 370. We are hid with Christ forever in the Father's holy plan. In this pure eternal union, we behold the perfect man. And we know that sin can never overthrow the sacred rod of dominion over evil. We are hid with Christ in God. Hymn 370.